Hello everyone, I am here to present a case study on Gabbion wall construction. Gabbion wall is a kind of retaining wall used to hold the soil material and to prevent the soil from sliding. Let's go to the video.
Welcome to our Gabbion video. We're going to show you how to install Gabbions. It's a very simple technique using local unskilled labor. The baskets we're using are 2 meters long by 1 meter wide by 1 meter high. The mesh we're using is Class A galvanized 80 by 100 millimeter aperture. The rock size is 100 to 250 millimeter nominal size. Normally we allow 30% for fines, 1.5 tons per cubic meter. Here we're busy unfolding a Gabbion. It's folded flat like a cardboard box. When it's applied to site, we open up the Gabbion and fold up the edges and lace them together along the top corners with the salvage wire supplied, and then we start lacing them together from the bottom to the top of the Gabbion. With the binding wire we supply 7% by weight of mass. It's a simple technique, and we can normally train up people to install Gabbions within a period of 5 days. As can be seen, we use rudimentary 200mm combination pliers. We attach the corners with a salvage wire along all corners before we start lacing from the bottom to the top of the cage with a 2.2mm Class A galvanized binding wire supplied with the Gabbion. We attach the binding wire to the bottom of the cage, and then using a looping method we lace from the bottom to the top, alternating every 100 millimeters, a single loop, then another 100 millimeters, a double loop, and then another 100 millimeters, a single loop, alternating all the way to the top of the cage, and lacing them along the common edge to join the two mesh panels together so that they don't come apart once we start filling with the rock. This process can be done when you're joining baskets together, so that it's one connection between basket to basket and panel to panel. Much faster this way. This must be done before we fill with rock. Normally we allow 1 man per cubic meter per day, but on most sites where the rock is supplied close to the job, we can achieve 2 to 3 cubic meters per man per day. The secret is to keep the baskets as vertical as possible during the infill, and for this purpose we use frames which we supply to keep the mesh taut during the filling operation. All the lacing must be done tight to ensure that rock does not come adrift out of the cage. So this is normally done off-site by persons closing the mesh panels, and then the baskets are carried onto site and placed on the geotextile so that the filling can take place, and then we lace the baskets together before we place the rock inside the baskets. As we can see, the mesh is a hexagonal shaped mesh, Class A galvanized mild-tensile steel wire. The mesh size is 80 by 100 millimeters, so that the minimum side rock that we put inside the cage is 100 millimeters, so that it doesn't fall out the front mesh. On the inside of the Gabbion you can use a slightly smaller rock. Here you can see the correct lacing technique, 100 millimeters between loops, and alternating double single every 100 millimeters. Sometimes we pass the rock and pack the cage. The infilling of cage is normally done by hand, packing the front face first, achieving a nice vertical front face, and then for the 1 meter high cage we brace it from the front to the back of the cage with the binding wire supplied, so that the mesh does not bulge. So we use for a 1 meter high at about a height of 330 millimeters. We use 2 braces about 300 millimeters apart, and you brace it to the back, and then the 2/3 of the height at 660 we do another brace, and then we slightly overfill the cage by about 25 millimeters, just so that when you lace the lids down they're nice and tight, so that especially in a river run environment with very fast flowing water, the rock cannot be lost and there isn't any settlement in the Gabbion cage over a period of time. So we say about 1.5, 1.6 tons per cubic meter with a void ratio of about 35%, 1.6 tons per cube plus about 30%, so we have to allow about 2 tons per cubic meter of rock when ordering it from the commercial rock source. Preferably nice angular rock is best. Rounded rock can be used, but with the rounded rock then we often get more difficulty in achieving the nice vertical front face. The baskets must be filled adequately, and then along all the external joins mesh panels must be laced together with the same double twist, single twist technique using the binding wire supplied, making sure that it's bound together adequately and strongly so that it can perform its task over the years that it needs to achieve its goal. The wire that we're lacing together along the top edge is called the salvage wire, which is for the Gabbion. It's a 3.4 millimeter wire diameter, so it's slightly thicker than the mesh wire. And the Gabbion, the mesh wire is 2.7 millimeter. So we do the lacing along the salvage wire. The 2 salvage wires, we join them together. Making sure that when we're closing the lids down, they come together snugly, and we also lace down the mesh onto the top of the diaphragm so that there's no movement of mesh. Sometimes we need to use crowbars to close the lids properly. We do supply these, and we use them in tandem, 2 at a time, to close the lids properly, making sure that the baskets are slightly overfilled so that when the mesh is tied down, it's nice and tight. Use the same lacing technique on the top of the diaphragms, 100 millimeter apart, single twist, double twist, using the binding wire supply. We do supply bracing rods instead of using the binding wire to do the bracing in the cages. Kindly contact us for further information on this, which makes the bracing task much quicker. Thank you very much.
In this video, we came to know about various construction aspects involved in the construction of Gabbion wall. Hope you liked the video.